before we talk about the topic we're going to talk about, I just want to say we're not medical experts.
Not at all.
We're just going to tell you our stories, how we handled injuries in the past. And if you have an injury, I would definitely seek advice out of a medical expert. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Not your friend at the gym.
Yeah.
You know. Well, yeah, it looks like a sprained knees inside out.
Exactly. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, this is just our stories, our experiences with injuries, how we deal with injuries. And yeah, that's it. Enjoy. Hey, everyone. So this topic, injuries, this is a big topic. This is the number one reason why people quit is injuries. This is, it sucks, plain and simple, to go through an injury. It's traumatizing. It can sometimes cost you money. It can, sometimes you have to take time off work. It messes up other factors in your life. And a lot of people are scared of, I wouldn't say, maybe scared is not the right word. A lot of people they don't want to join an activity like Jiu Jitsu or martial arts because they're worried about injuries. And so I'm going to be real with you as a coach. Like, at some point you're going to get injured. If you're training hard and you're sparring, and at some point you will get injured. So it's not a guaranteed. It's just more likely probably would happen. Especially competing. Oddly enough, injuries on competition happen a lot less because everyone's more focused and they know the stakes are higher, and they kind of will tap a little bit, quicker than they would, and the intensity is higher. Does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure.
Most of the time. Obviously, there's some cases that people don't. But it's never fun. But yeah, we're just gonna talk about some of our stories, injuries. I mean, you've been plagued by injuries your whole athletic career.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I don't know. What do you think? What do you think is the best way to handle injuries?
Rehabilitation is definitely the one I would go back to. Not because I know, especially for me, I'm an idiot and I want to go out and go hard immediately, and so I would return to either a field for like football or like the mats far too early, and then just catch more and more. And this would be like a definite pattern that would continue to happen. Because I don't want to be a wimp or whatever. You really just want to show that you're not weak, and you want to really be out there because you want this so badly. But in reality, you're just making it so much worse. Now you're not going to be healthy. You're going to be more hurt, and you're not going to be able to perform good at all. So I think the rehabilitation that will be provided is really good. Sticking to and staying disciplined with all that is super important. Re-strengthening afterwards. Really important, especially for big injuries. You want to, because I know with me, really bad one that I had was my knee, the first one that I had, where I tore my ACL, MCL, and PCL in my right leg. My leg just out to the side, and in within a month or two, entire leg was like jello. I could press it on my thigh and feel my femur. Because just everything atrophied so much. And so if I did not do all the rehabilitation stuff of the little leg workouts and mobility stuff, it could have been from, it was 6 to 8 months before I was walking around, and that could have even been extended so much further, and that could have ruined things even more so. And so all of those little details, they're not just you can do this thing. It will be the most beneficial for you to do the stuff that they're telling you to do, for yourself.
Just for the record, that was not jiu-jitsu. That was football.
Football.
Yeah. Foosball's for the devil.
Foosball is for the devil.
Mama said foosball's for the devil.
Yeah, for sure.
And you got blindsided. You say you got chop blocked?
Yeah. It was on a punt. We were up by 35, and I was about to be out because it was all right, starters are gonna get pulled out after this field goal, and then just guy hit me from the knee, and my whole just out to the side. Definitely a painful one. Not fun. Would not recommend. Don't. If you have the option to have your knee ripped apart or not, I'd recommend not. For sure.
It's good advice. You did recover from it.
Yes.
The doctors said you would never really be 100% on it again.
No, they said knee replacements are in my future. And they probably will be. And so, and I have like a torn meniscus in my other leg. I've had ACL, MCL injuries since then.
But you were able to kind of recover from it. You were able to have a whole wrestling career in college from it. And
for the most part, it was re-injuries and stuff. It was
so back and forth. But now you're doing grappling and jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, no real bad injuries from like grappling, to be honest. Like
some scares.
Some
like,
ooh, you know what I mean? But
yeah, what happened in LA, right? That was a scare.
Partial ACL, MCL tear, which wasn't in reality like could have been much worse. But he just took me out for a few weeks, a month or two, and much better. And the only other injuries besides that, like a couple broken toes, broken fingers, and thumbs, dislocated thumbs, and all that good stuff. Nothing like crazy. A couple cuts and stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
tap.
That's good advice. Yeah. But yeah, I've been through a lot of injuries too. A lot of scares and everything. Like I haven't had any surgeries. I've been doing this over. I've been doing like I played football. I played pretty much every single sport you can think of, and then I did MMA. I did jiu-jitsu, and I've been I'm training like almost every day, right? And I'm sparring every day. And I have a lot of scares, like minor injuries, but never to the point of major injuries, and so it's I don't really have like any. I have like little stories, but no big story like that. Like I never went through something that you went through. You know what I mean? Like that's just to go through that is like it's probably extremely hard to go through.
For sure. It was not just like physically, but like mentally. I feel like it's the worst part.
Oh yeah.
Because like your whole future of like everything that you're planning is now like all the scholarships start falling away. All the people start falling away a little bit. And so, it's definitely a tough thing to overcome for sure.
I guess that's a silver lining. You get to see who's really about you. You know what I mean? When it comes like who really cares about you. True. Because like those are the darkest times we can go through. Just going through that bad injuries. So I think when it comes to injuries, you just have to kind of understand that like it sucked, it happened. Let's do what we got to do to get back on track. A lot of people make the mistake. I think you're saying rehab it. I think that's a great idea. But what people will do is they'll rehab it and like not show up for like a year. You know what I mean? And I think you have to like the thing about this or any other sport or life, right? If you go hiking and twist your ankle, are you not going to go to work for a year? You know what I mean? Are you not going to like take care of your kid now because you twisted your ankle? Like you have to understand like injuries are going to happen, and that's going to happen here or out there. Whatever. It's in life. You're going to get hurt.
Absolutely.
We're weird. Humans are weird. They're strong but fragile at the same time. We get hurt, but we can also heal. It's one of those things that you're just going to have to learn that, okay, let's get back on track. Let's fix this. Let's get back on track. I recommend, always ice baby, vanilla ice. You told us how to handle this, man. Ice baby, bro. All right. And that's the first thing you should do with all injuries, because especially in here, you get your knee popped or you get your ankle popped or your arm popped, it's going to swell up. And so if you ice it and minimize the swelling, it's a good start. What I do for myself, I'm not saying I recommend you guys do this, but what I do for myself is every time I get something like that happens to me, because it has happened to me quite a bit, I just ice it and I give it maybe a week, maybe 2 weeks, and see if it naturally improves. If it has no improvement whatsoever by 2 week period, you should definitely go get it checked out. But initially, it swells up. If you ice it, and like I said, I got both my arms popped multiple times, neck popped, both my knees popped, ankles popped, my back popped. Everything's good, not one surgery. I just kind of follow this, this is my way I handle injuries for myself, And I also believe in like learning how to train around injuries. injuries. If you really want to make it to the highest level of this game, this sport, you're gonna have to learn how to do that. And like, okay, like my knee hurts, can't wrestle, playing guard. Okay, like that's if someone grabs it, tap. Like if you have to protect yourself. Wearing knee pads is a good prevention for your knees, compression, that kind of stuff, and just constantly, learning how to like train around your injury is good. The way to kind of stay in the gym. If you cannot train, you still come to the gym. You still show up. You still watch. You still hang out and like still mentally retain information and mentally train. And that way, when you come back, you haven't mentally lost a step. Okay, because a lot of people take 3 months off. Have a little sprained ankle, take 3 months off, they come back and they're not mentally in tune, they're not physically in tune, and they come back and they get hurt even worse, and then they quit forever. And this is a very, very common thing that happens quite a bit. So do you think training around injuries is a good idea?
Yeah, for sure. I think because you want to make sure you're still progressing in some, or at least not like regressing too much. So still getting that mat time, I feel like is really important. You're not going to be rolling like 100% or like live or anything like that, but coming in just for technique, even if you can't like roll at all, maybe you got like neck injury or something like that, and so you really can't be doing anything, but you can still come and watch. You can still come and observe technique. Watch the rolls. Take mental notes. Or whatever. And then once you're actually starting to get to a situation, maybe just like wrist break or something like that, where you can actually roll a little bit and you can you're participating to a degree, and so you're still getting your body active, not dulling your abilities too much, staying pretty sharp. And because I feel like a big thing with like bad injuries is like trying to come back afterwards, and so that like all that conditioning, all that like hard work you just put in, where you were like at peak physical condition, and now you're starting from like square one. It's disheartening. It's tough, and so to do the most you can to mitigate that is important for sure.
That's great. So, yeah. Okay, last question. How do you deal with the mental trauma side of it? Because this is like a big one. A lot of people are like, after they go through something super traumatic like yourself, how do you build confidence in yourself again? Or like, someone pops your knee and a heel hook, and it's like every time someone grabs it, they can kind of like just tap in a lot quicker than you normally would because you're just kind of traumatized by it. How do you get rid of that? Because you had to do this multiple times in your life. So sure. I want to know how you deal with trauma, the mental trauma side of it.
It's not easy. I feel like a lot of it is going to be just time on the mat. Slowly getting better, mentally and physically, where you can be back in those scenarios again a little bit. Slowly working back up to it, and I think your confidence will raise. A given time, I think rushing back into things can be bad, and that can lead to a place where you're like, I don't want to do this anymore. Like all this other stuff, it can break a lot of people. So having that time on the mat and practicing all those positions, I feel like it'll really be beneficial for you. As far as like just getting back to it.
Yeah, dude, that's really good advice. That's some of the hardest stuff for a lot of people because like I've dealt with people that like first come to jiu-jitsu and then they get hurt and they never had an injury in their whole life and then they're just kind of freaked out by it. You have to just I think like you said, get on the mat and you don't necessarily have to spar right away, but start drilling and slowly start building your confidence again. And it's all about baby steps. And I think that's like, if it's a knee injury, start by walking, and then start by jogging, and then you can start sprinting, right? Like, so you just have to like start baby steps, take your time. But yeah, that's probably one of the hardest things to deal with is the mental trauma side of injuries. Now, knowing that all the injuries you've been through in your life, and knowing that like you have potentially more injuries to go through, if you keep doing the sport at the highest level and trying to compete at the highest level, more likely you'll continue to get injured throughout your career. Just like how any professional athlete across the board in any sport will have, injuries. Even esports, right? They're gonna have arthritis. They're gonna have carpal tunnel. They're gonna have neck issues. They're gonna get all like, all that stuff.
Bad posture.
Yeah, all that stuff. So like, no matter what sport it is,
too much G fuel.
You're definitely
got kidney damage,
dude. They're gonna watch. You're gonna see like it's gonna be an epidemic of esport people dying nonstop from all the caffeine. Oh no, they're Adderall. All the Adderall. Dude, you don't know about that? All gamers take Adderall, man. All like the esport people. All the esport people.
Bro, all the gamers are on meth?
Yeah.
Okay. It's crazy.
But like, so no matter what you do, you're gonna go through some type of pain and hardship. So knowing that you have more to go through, and you still want to do it, are you okay with that? Are you okay that knowing that you may have some more hard times ahead of you with injuries?
Absolutely. I think you kind of have to be. If you, no judging if you decide, well, that's not a sacrifice I'm going to make, whatever, you know what I mean? But if you want it bad enough, you're willing to make whatever sacrifice is necessary. You know what I mean? You're still not going to just like, you're not going to enter like a naga and get your arm broken in half or your leg snapped in twain for no reason, just because of some metal or a belt or whatever the heck. But I think, the injuries will come. You're going to be training hard if you really want to do this at the highest level. You're going to be practicing hard. You're going to be lifting hard. All these things, against really good people as you continue to get better and better. So you will get beat up. Injuries will come, but that's something you have to be willing to accept, but also do the best you can to mitigate that. So you're taking on a responsibility more than anything, where I will take care of myself so that I can continue to do this.
I mean, but guess what, people? You don't have to do jiu-jitsu to get hurt. No matter what you do in life, at some point, you're going to get hurt. So you might as well do what you want to do in life because, injuries are inevitable. It's going to happen. Stuff that you can do in here to prevent injuries or in competitions or whatever. Just remember this. Your ego is not your ego, okay? It's tap. It's okay. You're all right. Just try again. And that's it. I would also say spazziness in training, like that's something that causes a lot of injuries. Jumping around and
don't be weird.
Bro. Yeah, don't be weird. But like for just take your time, control. It's all about learning how to control your body. If you can learn how to control your body, you can learn how to control your opponent's body. You know what I'm saying? But you have to just take your time and learn the technique and learn how to do things proper instead of spazzing out every second. Mm-hmm. Just understand that I'm trying to be real. Like you can do CrossFit, you're gonna get hurt. You're gonna play tennis, you're gonna get hurt. You go hiking, you're gonna get hurt. And so
on the toilet.
I think it's just because
fall asleep.
I think the issue is a lot of times in jiu-jitsu, they like to, someone's applying the hurtness, someone's making the hurt happen.
Yeah. You can stop that though.
That's the ultimate escape for everything.
Yeah, guaranteed. Should be. Unless you're training with some maniac, then maybe find a different place. Good advice. And they're just like, they see you tap and they're like, nah.
Anything you want to add, man, before we say goodbye?
Keep training hard. Take care of yourself. That's an important thing. If we all want to be doing this for as long as we can, that's something you're going to have to do.
Ice, baby.